Hello, everyone. I love you. Thank you for being here. I wanted to do an energy report. So I wanted to talk about the current energies that we are navigating right now. So it's the end of April and we are about to step into May. And May is going to be a big month. And it's going to be about really stepping into and being these 5D consciousnesses that we have been learning about for however many months and years, reading about for a very long time, and slowly beginning to practice the last couple of months. Since the coronavirus, we have literally been kicked into being 5D consciousness. So what has occurred and what has been unraveling for the lightworkers, way showers, starseeds is a now moment where it is time to get to work, right? And we have to begin to be the frequencies that we're holding in our body. It's not good enough to just feel it. It's not good enough to understand it or read about it. We have to start being it. And that is one of the reasons why the coronavirus unraveled the way it did. It was also to get us, the way showers, going. And so many of us, regardless of where you are socioeconomically, where you find yourself on the earth plane, what color of your skin, what you do for a living, none of that matters. You're a way shower. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this video. And so you have been catapulted into now being forced to be 5D consciousness. So what does that mean? It means that all of a sudden we are finding ourselves, you may be finding yourselves experiencing your now moments very differently. There may be so much uncomfortableness that you're feeling that the only thing that resolves that is to get present. All of a sudden you're being forced to be in a present moment state. Perhaps your job, your financial comfort and stability has been taken away. You're now having to learn to stand in trust, surrender, and abundance in a way that you never have before. Perhaps you are having so much time now to yourself because of the distractions that you used to have, that you are diving deep into you and now actually allowing yourself to feel and experience and love you and any traumas and shadows that you were ignoring when you were busy out in the world, right? Part of being 5D consciousness is feeling and loving everything that comes up. All of it. Perhaps you're starting to recognize that you are learning and being forced to start to hold a much more neutral position, because if you don't, you're going to lose your mind, meaning you are no longer going to take sides. Taking sides doesn't even make sense anymore. What's the point? It's all unraveling regardless of what side I take, right? There are all these little ways in which you may not even be aware that you are being pushed into being the 5D consciousness. So many of us say, what is it like to be New Earth? What is it like to be in the New Earth? What is it like to be in 5D consciousness? I can promise you that even though you may be feeling, and many of us are feeling, the very dense third dimensional purging that is occurring, the anxiety, the fears, the worries, the stress, all of that, we're feeling it. We can't not feel it for many because it's an external purging, right? So unless you're hiding in some town where you don't have to experience any of it, most of the globe, most of the planet is feeling that. That's how we purge. That's how we clear it. And even in the midst of that, you are now being asked to be in that 5D consciousness. And so May is going to be all about starting to recalibrate yourself, right? We've had about a month and a half to kind of say, oh my God, I just got rocked into this totally new way of being. I'm being forced into this 5D consciousness, being it, kicking and screaming, some of us. And now I need to start observing me even more, right? How many of you are now observing yourself in a way you never have before? Welcome to 5D consciousness. How many of you are feeling more than you ever have before? Welcome to 5D consciousness. How many of you are recognizing that your energetic field is actually real and you're actually literally bumping up into other external consciousnesses and energy? Welcome to the 5D. How many of you are connecting now in a very palpable way to your guides, to your family of light, to all the higher dimensional realms, right? It's all of a sudden like easier. No, it's you're holding higher consciousnesses and you've stopped, you've slowed down. Welcome to 5D consciousness. So now let's get aware, let's observe ourselves, and let's recognize what's actually happening. You are being asked by your higher self to be the 5D consciousness now over and over and over. And there are so many ways to practice this. And that's what May is going to allow us. It's time to get clear on, I am here to be the way shower, which means that I don't learn about 5D consciousness. I don't just hold it in my body and miraculously have this great experience, right? And boom, I'm in this beautiful new earth and everything's fabulous. Oh, you mean I actually have to take the steps and practice and be and do it over and over and over? Practice being? I have to practice it, right? And you practice it by naturally feeling it, right? You don't have to go out and search for anything. The frequency's in your body. The frequency of 5D consciousness is in your body, along with your higher self, along with your ego and personality and mind, along with the higher consciousness that you are, that you dropped into the physical form as. Don't forget, you are a much higher frequency, a much higher consciousness inside this physical form. And your body is holding 5D consciousness. So now you get to experience 5D consciousness and you get to be it. So how can you start to watch and navigate your nows in the awareness of, I'm holding 5D consciousness now. I don't care what your experience is, you're holding 5D consciousness. And your higher self is trying to get you to practice it. Are you still feeling fear? Yep. Anxiety? Yep. Stress? Yep. Worry? Yep. Lack? Yep. You're feeling all of those because they're purging and clearing. You're feeling it all because you're still standing and surrounded by a third dimensional field. But guess what? You're also surrounded by a fourth dimensional field and a fifth dimensional field in the same now moment. You are multi-dimensional. You are now moving through 3 very unique, very distinct dimensional fields in every single now. It's real. It's physical. It's happening now. So you feel yourself standing in 3D, which means you're feeling all the anxiety, the fear, the worry, the separation, the polarities. Can you see the polarities out there? The duality, right and wrong, good and bad, all of the dark underbelly that's coming up, all of these theories that have been around forever that people are waking up to, right? All these truths that everybody's saying, holy cow, I've been lied to, right? These are all truths. Every truth is truth for the human that's holding that truth, right? And when you are in a 3D field, standing in it and really believing in it, like playing in it, your truth is the only truth. When you move into a fourth and a fifth, really a fifth, the fourth is more of like a bridge. I'll talk about that in a second. But the fifth, all truths are truth. All truths are truth. You now get to choose your truth. So it's not about arguing someone's truth. That makes no sense. That's a waste of energy. That's their truth, no matter what. Is it your truth or not? That's it, right? So you have to start to see when you're in the 3D, when you're in the 5D, and when you're in the 4D. And you may be in all at the same time. And you don't make any of it wrong because the 3D is here, the 4D is here, the 5D is here. It's all here and one now. It's not necessarily going anywhere anytime soon. So you have to learn to navigate this multi-dimensional flow that you're now going through, which is creating a craziness in you because it is very intense out there right now. Why? Because a massive, dense, third dimensional consciousness is literally purging the earth plane. which is what you are feeling in your body. That buzz, that anxiety, that worry, that stress, that future planning, right? Oh my God, what if? What if I have to get a vaccine? What if they put a chip in me? That's being third dimensional, and it's totally okay. It's being that human aspect. Can we love that? Can we observe it and see it as, oh, I am now in a third dimensional perspective. Okay, I'm playing in it. Let's go. Let's dive in, right? And then you say, wait a second, let me now choose to step into a 5D perspective because I'm holding it. Therefore, I can access it. The 5D perspective would say to you, why are you not present? I got to get present. If you're present, are you concerned about a future that hasn't happened yet? No. Do you know if that future is going to happen? No. Is the anxiety causing you, is the future thinking causing you that anxiety? Yeah. Okay, can you get present in your now, right? Boom, there you are, 5D consciousness, bringing yourself right back to present moment. Then you go about your day, and the next thing you know, what happens? Boom, I'm back in, swimming in it, right? Just because you are feeling these emotions that you may be feeling, this uncomfortableness, it's part of being the way shower. You are awake, you are alert, you are in your body, so you are going to feel it in a very intense way. But remember, as 5D consciousness, you are not what you are experiencing. You are watching a massive purge unravel. And it is going to continue. And our role is to recognize what's going on and to start to be 5D consciousness as much as we can, recognizing that I'm still standing in these other dimensional fields. This is why we came down here, is for this now moment, this physical shift in dimensional fields. You are literally going through a physical shifting of dimensional fields in every single now. In every now. You may be tapping into your 5D consciousness, tapping into 4D, tapping into 3D, but 4D consciousness is like a bridge. It's like the training ground preparing you for 5D. So if the 4D consciousness is still experiencing 3D, it's also experiencing 5D. It's finding this middle ground where you're sort of playing around with this 5D consciousness. Is this really present moment state? Am I opening up my heart? How does it feel when I open my heart? Do I trust what I'm hearing? Am I trusting my higher self, right? You're questioning a lot. You're tiptoeing into 5D, but you're like, oof, can I do that? I don't know, right? It's the experimental dimensional field, right? It's where we learn. I like to call it middle school. So elementary school is third dimension, high school is fifth dimension, and in middle school it's fourth dimension. And that's where you're learning and preparing for being 5D all the time. So we're always moving like this through these dimensional fields, which is only just that frequency in your body. So you're holding all of these different consciousnesses in your body, third, fourth, and fifth dimensional consciousnesses. And in any now moment, you will be experiencing and being one of those frequencies, one of those consciousnesses. And when you walk out into the external world, which is mostly the third dimension right now, right? Because the large collective is holding that consciousness. When the collective starts to shift into these higher frequencies, which is why we're here to lead them, to lead that frequency, when the collective starts to shift, then we will recognize and we will watch as the entire dimensional field starts to shift. Our reality starts to shift. It's a collective shifting, okay? So right now when you walk outside, you can easily tap into 5D consciousness, especially right now. Go watch any video of somebody filming from a helicopter or an airplane or something. The earth right now, it's completely 5D. It's so peaceful. It's so beautiful. You can see everything. There's no smog. The animals are out and about, right? It's a very new earth type of energy right now. And at the exact same time, it is inundated with that 3D consciousness of fear, anxiety, worry, stress, lack, all of these denser consciousnesses that are clearing. It is clearing. and it's going to come up and you're going to feel it because you're energetic and you step outside and boom, you tap into it, right? That's what's occurring right now. So you have got to start to remember the bigger picture over and over and over again. And remember, okay, I'm moving through these three-dimensional fields, got it. In every now moment, I may be tapping into different 5D consciousnesses, being asked to try to be them, right? And then you're going to, as you start recognizing this more and more, you start becoming the observer, you're going to realize, oh my God, I really am being forced into 5D consciousness. Holy shit, I wasn't even realizing. If you stop with the chatter in the mind, right? The overactive mind right now, because the mind is getting very overactive, right? We've been quarantined for quite some time and we're losing our minds. We're going cuckoo. We're literally thinking, right? Quiet that for a second and recognize underneath that, there's this subtle 5D consciousness that is saying, I'm here. I can take care of you. I know how to get you through this. Can you settle down? Can you settle in? Can you listen to me, the higher self, right? I've got you. I know how to lead you through this. I know how to do this for you, which it does. The higher self is what leads us in 5D consciousness, not the ego. But the ego is going to resist and say, I don't understand high school. I don't understand where you're going. I don't know how to take care of you. I don't know what it means when you surrender. We're supposed to be in charge. I'm supposed to be leading the way. What do you mean surrender and let go of control? We don't do that. Yeah, we do in 5D. We trust, we surrender. We remember that we have a higher self that actually knows exactly what is for our highest good, not the ego, right? This is what's happening right now. This is what we want to practice as often as we can. As often as we can. And we want to recognize also, you guys, that sovereignty is 5D consciousness and discernment is 5D consciousness. So sovereignty is another piece that's going to unravel in May. Really understanding and learning your sovereignty, which means your truth, your frequency, your knowingness. There are many truths that are going to be unraveling in front of us in a third dimensional field. A truth holds a vibration, it holds a frequency, and it holds belief systems. You are holding 4 and 5 and even higher consciousnesses frequencies in your body right now. You are going to be stepping out of the truths that used to resonate with you. Resonate means your energetic frequency connected to that truth and it resonated. It was like, yep, that feels correct. That's the same frequency as me. I believe that truth. When you start to hold the higher frequencies, stay in your body and feel the higher frequencies, what starts to happen is you exit out of this matrix of the third dimension. You start to stand and hold the fourth and fifth dimensional fields as your new matrix, right? And there are new truths in those frequencies. In the fourth and fifth dimensional fields, there are new truths that vibrate at the frequency that you vibrate at. So what's going to happen is you're going to notice that the truths in the third dimensional frequency don't resonate anymore. They just don't feel right. This is sovereignty. This is you getting real clear on your frequency, getting real clear on your vibration, so that when you tap up against somebody speaking their truth, you get to say to yourself, is that my truth? Do I resonate with that? I don't care who they are, how famous they are, right? We have been programmed in a third dimensional matrix to believe everything, especially if it's coming from somebody very famous, very popular, very well known. We believe them. Everybody believes them. People are paying them all this money and they've got all these subscribers and they're huge, right? They must be right. When you move into 5D consciousness, none of that matters. What matters is your resonance to that truth, not the person that's speaking the truth or the numbers behind that person. It's the resonance. And so you'll find yourself no longer needing to ask somebody, does this make sense to you? Is this your truth? Do you believe this? Can you tell me if this is right or wrong? Remember, 5D consciousness, everything is right. Everything is true for the person that is believing it to be right or true. Just because it isn't true or right for you doesn't mean it isn't true or right for someone else. Therefore, it's not about trying to figure out if it's true or not. It is true for the people that believe it. So stop trying to say or figure out if things are true or not. Just know that everything is true. And then you then get to decide, is it my truth? And how do you do that? You feel the frequency of it. And you will notice there's going to be a lot more new truths coming up in the 3D field. And these new truths are the underbelly. They are holding the lower frequencies that are being purged. These new truths hold fear, anxiety, worry, lack, mistrust or distrust, taking away your power, your control, your ability to choose, talking about dark energies, dark forces, tricksters, entities, all of these things, right? These are true. It's also a lower frequency. It's also coming up as a truth because it's a lower frequency that's purging. Your job as the way shower is to recognize this, not jump in and say, holy shit, look at this. Oh my God, is this true? Oh my God, is this right? Oh my God, and go down the rabbit hole, unless you want to. But what does it feel like? What does it feel like when you read that truth? What does it energetically feel like when you hear that truth? What does it feel like? That's your resonance. If it makes you feel weird, if it makes you feel like constricted, if it brings fear into you, then recognize that is a truth. That is a truth that is holding fear. Fear is a lower consciousness, and fear is currently purging off the earth plane. Thank you for showing me this fear that's purging off the earth plane. What is my truth? Not that purged fear. That's not my truth. My truth is my own experience, my own frequency, which doesn't resonate with the fear. It resonates with what I've been experiencing, what I know to be true, which is in a 5D consciousness. But you're going to be pulled back into that matrix. It's like a magnet. And we're like, whoosh, we get sucked back in, right? And then the next thing you know, you're tumbling in these new truths without pulling yourself out and saying, okay, everything's a truth. So I don't have to worry about whether it's true or not. I can take that off my plate. You don't need to worry about whether it's true or not. Assume everything is true. Then you go to the important piece, which is, okay, how am I feeling when I read that or listen to that or watch that video? That's when you get to have discernment. That doesn't feel right. That's not my truth anymore. Nope. Okay. This is what is being required and asked of us over and over and over again. There's nothing wrong with anyone that's playing in those, believing those, living those truths. Guarantee you, as they continue to hold higher frequencies, they will look at everything as just a truth. Just a truth. That's it. It doesn't need to be unraveled. It doesn't need to be dissected. It doesn't need to be figured out or fixed. It's a consciousness that's clearing off the earth plane. Right? So there's a lot of disclosure going on, right? Oh my God, you got to learn about this. You got to learn about this. You got to learn about that. And that's great because what that's doing is it's opening your eyes to allow you to see the consciousness that's clearing. You understand? The disclosures, all of these things that are like, oh my God, did you realize this was happening? Did you realize this was happening? Did you realize this was happening, right? Especially in the spiritual community. What that is bringing out the shadow. Oh, did you see this? 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 There are many humans that play the role of, oh my God, I've got to share this with as many people as possible. And that's okay. right? They're bringing the dark into the light. That's great. And if that resonates with you, bringing the dark into the light, then do that, right? But it's got to feel good to you. It's got to resonate. It's got to be like, oh my God, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And if it doesn't, then you settle back into your frequency and your truth, which only you know. Only you know. And if you don't know your truth yet, just settle into what feels good, what feels right. So this is another piece of May that's coming, is really getting clear on your sovereignty and on your discernment, because we are stepping out of the matrix where somebody else tells us what to do, what to feel, what to believe. If you don't believe what's being told to you about the coronavirus, then don't believe it. Even if you don't know what else to believe. We are the way showers, and we are going to be forced to break out of the old paradigms. We are going to be forced to break out of the old truths. We have to. Even if we blindly are walking forward into a truth that we don't even know exists yet. All we know is that these no longer resonate with the frequency that's in our body, and they're true. Right? We're sovereign. You're sovereign. You get to choose. You get to create. You get to decide. So what's interesting is that in the end of 2019, right, we were getting these messages of 2020 is going to be huge. It's going to be massive. We're going to do these massive shifts. We're going to be able to quantum jump and leap into new timelines. And that's what's happening right now. We are now physically experiencing that. So I want to honor the fact that yes, it's chaos outside for a lot of people. It's chaos in the house for a lot of people. That's the purging that's happening. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying to allow yourself to just be like, well, forget it. I'm just not going to feel anything. No, you allow yourself to feel all the human emotions that you're feeling around all of this. Because remember, you're still standing in the third dimensional realm. You're still standing in the third dimensional field. Even if you break out of the matrix, you're still standing in it. You're still going to see it. What starts to happen is you become the observer and you recognize your 5D consciousness. And so as you are tapping into what is occurring out there, and maybe even in your own home, you start to practice the tools. I'm an energetic being. I'm holding 5D consciousness. I have an energetic field around me. All I'm doing is tapping into other people's energetic fields, and I'm feeling their consciousness. That's it. I'm observing over and over and over again. I am not the emotions, thoughts, beliefs, behaviors that I'm having. I'm just having those experiences, right? You're saying this mantra to yourself over and over and over. As you experience, watch, and see. Watch and see is the same thing, right? This external purging. Because there's going to be another massive external purge coming. I don't know when, but there's going to be another big one. And then another big one. This is the physical ascension. It doesn't just stop at the coronavirus, right? We are in for the long haul. And we are not going anywhere as physical bodies. We're staying right here in the eye of the storm. And we are practicing how to be 5D consciousness right now, so that when the next massive purge happens, we are going to be better prepared and able to stand in the eye of the storm. That is what you are preparing for, whether you are conscious of it or not. That is why you are down in physical form, whether you are conscious of it or not. And it's going to look different for every human. So we don't want to judge our own unique, individual, perfect, divine, courageous human path. It is not going to look like any other human's path. It's not supposed to, but you are still the way shower. You are still here to learn and practice being 5D consciousness so that you can stand in the eye of a storm like this and hold your sovereignty, hold your truths, have all of the human emotions you may have without fear of them because you know you are not them, remembering the bigger picture, so that you can be the showing that you can show the way. You're being the way, and then you show the way by being it. So let May be this experiential playground. How often throughout every now moment can you practice being in a tiny way 5D consciousness? Just practice. And can you have compassion for yourself? Can you have compassion for everything you're going through? Can you give yourself anger and rage and sadness and fear? Whatever you're feeling, there is nothing wrong with feeling what you're feeling. It doesn't mean that you are not ascending, that you're not shifting into higher frequencies. I'm telling you right now, you're holding 5D consciousness in your body. Whether you're depressed, sad, angry, whether you're smoking cigarettes, drinking wine, overeating, have a addiction, I don't care. Taking antidepressants, you have done enough work right now. Trust me when I tell you, you're holding 5D consciousness. The belief systems are telling you that you're not. The belief systems are telling you, well, I'm feeling these denser consciousnesses. Well, I haven't cleared out all my trauma. Well, I'm still smoking cigarettes. Well, I'm still drinking. I'm still taking antidepressants. I'm still fighting with my boyfriend or my husband. I'm still unhappy, blah, 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 blah. Those are belief systems that are telling you that you're not where you think you are. You are. And you're going to continue to hold higher frequencies over and over and over and over and over again while you navigate the physical ascension, which means that you break out of and release the denser consciousnesses over and over and over and over and over. And you love the hell out of yourself. You love yourself more every day, like a little puppy dog that can do no wrong, a little newborn baby that has done nothing wrong. You are that newborn baby. No matter what age you are, you can do no wrong regardless of what your belief systems tell you, regardless of what anyone else tells you. You have done everything perfectly, imperfectly, whatever it looks like. So listen to your belief systems, okay? Because your belief systems are going to create your reality. And all they are beliefs. They're not real unless you believe them to be real. And then they're real. And then they're going to create your reality. All you have to do is choose not to believe them. But it's a habit. Belief systems become our truths because they're habits that we're used to. We instantly go to that belief system. And then we just believe it to be true. Break the belief system. Break it. Don't believe it. It's that simple. Just like that. Don't believe it anymore. Don't believe it. Choose a different belief. Try it. Practice it. 21 days and you'll break anything. 21 days and you'll break any habit. Any belief system you hold, practice a different belief every single day and you'll change out of it. So, here we go. Stepping into May. Feel everything. You're not the feelings. When you're feeling whatever you're feeling, can you also tap into any sort of higher frequency in your body at the same time? And if not, great. When you're out of those emotions, can you tap into the 5D consciousness in your body? Can you tap into the higher consciousness that you are, that dropped into form? Can you tap into your higher self, right? What can you do throughout your day that will allow you to remember that you're the way shower and that you're here to show the way, whether you are a stay-at-home mom, a grandmother who has no family around, an uncle who works really hard in the lumber mill, right? A sister who just got a divorce and has 3 kids and has to now find a job and blah, 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 right? Wherever you are in your human journey, it's okay. You're still the way shower. Period. Showing the way. Off we go. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for courageously continuing to step forward in every now moment with your feet in front of the other. Trusting this, trusting you, feeling even more than you've ever felt emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, energetically, and remembering that you are a higher consciousness and that you volunteered to drop in and incarnate into the human form you're in right now, into the human life you're experiencing right now, with all of the humans and beings that you find yourself around right now, so that you can move through this shift, so that you can assist humanity in the earth plane. And you are assisting humanity and the earth plane right now, regardless of your beliefs. Thank you, and I love you.